Hello everyone, it's us, the team at TV Days Drama Digest, back once again with an extensive, heart-pounding recap of today's explosive events on Days of Our Lives from April 4th. If you missed today's episode, don't worry, sit back, relax, and join us as we delve into every dramatic twist, shocking revelation, and emotional confrontation that unfolded in Salem. Today's episode was a whirlwind of tragedy, suspicion, and raw emotion, leaving everyone in Salem reeling and fans on the edge of their seats. Let's dive into the full, detailed story and explore what these events mean for our favorite characters. A terrifying discovery at the mansion. The day's drama began at the DiMera mansion, where Chad arrived with the intention of discussing a provocative audience article with EJ. What Chad found, however, was far more disturbing than he could have ever imagined. In a scene that could only be described as a nightmare come true, Chad discovered EJ bleeding on the floor. The sight of his estranged brother lying there in a pool of blood was almost too much to bear. Without hesitating for a second, Chad immediately called for help. In a matter of moments, emergency services rushed to the scene, and EJ was swiftly transported to the hospital for urgent treatment. Chad's shock was compounded by the heavy uncertainty he felt about how his family would react to the grim news. In a moment of raw vulnerability, he confided in Kat, expressing his deep concern. "I have to call the family," he said, but with a hint of resignation in his voice he added, "I'm not sure how they'll react. Half of them might actually be happy." His bitter words underscored the long-standing enmity and fractured relationships within the DiMera clan, a legacy of betrayal that has haunted Salem for years. Hospital tension. Waiting for news at the hospital, the atmosphere was thick with anxiety and fear. Chad, still reeling from the traumatic discovery at the mansion, waited in a sterile waiting area, every minute stretching into an eternity. Kayla, the ever-reliable voice of reason in times of crisis, eventually approached him with an update on EJ's condition. Despite the frantic efforts of the medical team, Kayla admitted that EJ was still in critical condition and that no one could make any firm predictions about his recovery. Although EJ was still alive, the uncertainty of his fate loomed large, casting a shadow over the entire family. Chad's heart sank with every word from Kayla, and the fear that EJ might remain in a coma for an extended period grew more real by the minute. The prospect of having one of Salem's most notorious figures off-screen for an indefinite time was both unsettling and, for some, a bittersweet consequence of past transgressions. As the reality of EJ's precarious condition set in, Chad made the difficult decision to visit his brother in the hospital. A choice that promised to be filled with both emotional turmoil and unsettling surprises. A fractured family and the weight of betrayal back in Salem, the repercussions of EJ's shooting rippled through the community, affecting everyone in different ways. Ava, one of the more unpredictable characters in town, wasted no time in making her exit. In a dramatic turn of events, Ava bid farewell to Salem and headed to Hong Kong to stay with Tripp and Wendy. In her haste, she even dropped her gun, a detail that seemed trivial at first, but hinted at the chaos she left behind. Meanwhile, Kate, ever suspicious and vocal about her disdain for EJ, expressed her concern that he might have been involved in Rex's hit-and-run accident. "He'll regret it if he was behind it," she warned, her tone laced with venom and foreboding. Her words only added fuel to the fire, intensifying the already charged atmosphere of retribution that has long plagued the DiMera family. Roman, maintaining a semblance of order in the midst of the chaos, was seen carefully returning his gun to a lockbox. His measured actions served as a stark contrast to the turmoil unfolding around him, a silent reminder that even in a town as volatile as Salem, some traditions remain steadfast. Not everyone reacted with shock or sorrow. Johnny, whose life has been irreparably damaged by the dark secrets of his conception, displayed an unsettling indifference. When Chad informed him that EJ had been shot, Johnny curtly told Chanel that he wouldn't even go to the hospital because, in his eyes, EJ had gotten what he deserved. This chilling response, along with Paulina's lack of surprise upon hearing the news, underscores the deep fractures within the DiMera family and the long history of betrayal that has hardened some hearts beyond repair. The investigation begins. Kristen under scrutiny with EJ's shooting sending shockwaves throughout Salem, the investigation into the incident quickly gathered momentum. JJ, determined to uncover the truth behind the violence, brought Kristen in for questioning. Kristen, who has long harbored intense anger toward EJ, especially for making Rachel disappear, now found herself under intense scrutiny. Her long-standing resentment provided her with a strong motive, and the tension in the interrogation room was palpable. JJ's questioning was relentless. He pressed Kristen for details, asking pointedly whether she had pulled the trigger. Kristen, however, denied any involvement with steely resolve. She urged the detective to consider that nearly the entire town despises EJ, suggesting that there are plenty of potential shooters who could have taken matters into their own hands. Her cool defiance only deepened the mystery, leaving investigators and viewers alike to wonder who among the many suspects truly orchestrated the attack on EJ. Rivalries and suspicious alliances, questions about Rafe and Gabby amid the investigation into EJ's shooting. Another layer of drama began to unfold regarding Rafe and Gabby's roles in the unfolding chaos. Javi and Leo, ever the watchful observers, began to question whether either Gabby or Rafe might be trying to ensure that EJ is removed from Salem permanently. Rafe's behavior, already suspect given the turbulent history between him and EJ, drew particular attention. Rumors swirled that his actions could be interpreted as an attempt to cover up deeper involvement, adding yet another twist to an already convoluted mystery. The possibility that Rafe might be implicated in EJ's shooting sent shockwaves through his circle of friends and allies. The theory that he could be responsible, whether by direct action or through a series of calculated moves, added an extra layer of tension. As questions mounted, the intricate dance of suspicion and loyalty in Salem grew ever more complex, setting the stage for a confrontation that promises to reshape the power dynamics within the DiMera family. A night at the small bar, Jada's descent into despair while the investigation into EJ's shooting and the internal conflicts among the DiMera family reached fever pitch. The emotional fallout was evident in every corner of Salem. At the small bar, Jada was seen trying to drown her sorrows. The weight of her recent confession, where she admitted to sleeping with Sean, had taken its toll on her. Rafe's demand for time apart following her confession left her devastated, and she now found herself questioning whether their relationship could ever be salvaged. At the bar, the atmosphere was thick with melancholy and regret. Jada, seeking to numb the pain of isolation and heartbreak, ordered drink after drink. In a moment that was as raw as it was intimate, Sean appeared to comfort her. Their encounter, marked by a few steamy, emotionally charged moments, hinted at unresolved feelings and complicated entanglements. While Jada desperately hoped that the temporary separation might eventually mend her fractured relationship with Rafe, the uncertainty of the future only deepened her despair. The road to recovery, support, and bittersweet reunions despite the overwhelming chaos and the bitterness that permeated the day's events, there were glimmers of hope amid the despair. In the hospital, as Chad anxiously awaited updates on EJ's condition, Kat provided a comforting presence. Their shared embrace was a tender reminder that even in the midst of crisis, the bonds of family and love can offer solace and strength. Their relationship, forged in the fires of shared hardship, grew stronger as they clung to each other, hoping for a miracle that might save EJ from his precarious fate. Meanwhile, the community's reactions were as varied as they were intense. Ava, having made her dramatic exit to Hong Kong, left a trail of unanswered questions behind her. Kate's ominous warnings about EJ's potential involvement in Rex's hit-and-run and Roman's measured return of his gun to the lockbox painted a picture of a town teetering on the edge. Each of these moments, though seemingly isolated, contributed to an overarching narrative of betrayal, retribution, and the desperate search for truth. The final pieces, a mysterious clue and unresolved questions as the day drew to a close, another startling development emerged. At the bar, while the investigation continued and emotions ran high, Javi and Leo began to weigh in on the situation. Their discussion centered around the possibility that either Gabby or Rafe might be orchestrating a plan to ensure EJ is permanently removed from Salem. Rafe's suspicious behavior, combined with his tumultuous history with EJ, cast a long shadow over the conversation. The theory that Rafe might be involved in the shooting, either directly or indirectly, added yet another layer of complexity to an already convoluted storyline. With all the suspects lining up and the emotional stakes at an all-time high, the episode left viewers with more questions than answers. Who was truly responsible for shooting EJ? Could it be that the deep-seated grudges of Salem's residents have finally culminated in a violent act that will reshape the future of the DiMera family? And as the investigation continues, will any of the truths finally come to light, or will Salem be forever haunted by secrets and betrayals? In conclusion, A Town on the Brink, today's episode of Days of Our Lives from April 4th was a masterclass in dramatic storytelling, filled with heart-stopping moments, emotional confrontations, and shocking revelations that have left Salem and its viewers on the brink of a new era. From Chad's desperate discovery of EJ bleeding on the floor to the tense standoff with Kristen during questioning, every scene was charged with the promise of imminent change. The emotional fallout from EJ's shooting, coupled with the fractured relationships and unresolved secrets, has set the stage for a narrative that promises to be as unpredictable as it is unforgettable. As we await further updates on EJ's condition, and as the investigation deepens, the future of the DiMera family and the entire town of Salem remains uncertain. Will EJ recover, or will his fate mark the end of an era? Can the family mend its broken bonds, or will the scars of betrayal prove too deep to heal? And what if the intricate web of suspicion that now surrounds characters like Rafe and Kristen? Will the truth finally emerge, or will it remain shrouded in darkness? We invite you, our passionate fans, to share your thoughts, predictions, and emotional reactions in the comments below. What do you think will happen next? Do you believe that Salem will find a way to heal, or are we on the verge of an even greater catastrophe? Your insights, theories, and heartfelt discussions are what make our community so vibrant and engaged. Thank you for joining us here at TV Days Drama Digest as we navigate the twists, turns, and heart-wrenching drama of Days of Our Lives. We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe TV Days Drama Digest for more updates on Days of Our Lives.